All right, guys, here's the truth. I know we are so excited because Joe Biden is going to be the president.
CNN projects Joseph R. Biden Jr. is elected the 46th president of the United States.
I know that some of us are excited that anyone but Trump is going to be president. I get it. I feel it. I'm anxious too. I know that we're all also very anxious because Georgia, sweet old Georgia, is going to be the deciding factor in the United States Senate. Meaning, if we win both seats, and yes, we must win both seats, that means that Kamala Harris, as vice president, aka president of the Senate, will be the deciding vote on probably nearly every vote there is. And that is exciting for a lot of people. The first time the Senate has been blue in years, and I do mean years, 2014, folks. So this is big. I get this. We're all excited. We all have hopes. We all have dreams. We all have wishes. Now, I'm not here to be the bearer of bad news, but as exciting as all of that is, I think we need to take a breath and have a real conversation about what is going on inside the Democratic Party. So let's do that. So the way that I see it is, like I said before, we're excited about Joe Biden, but at the same time, I'm extremely nervous. I'm nervous about Georgia. I gotta be honest with y'all. Sad to say, but people don't vote the same way they vote in presidential elections as they do, especially in special elections, runoff elections. We shall see. I'm nervous because Mitch McConnell is not just going to hand us the whole enchilada. He's not going to do it. He wants to be majority leader. He wants to make Joe Biden's life a living hell. He wants to not confirm cabinet members. So we shall see on Georgia. But let's say in a dream world Georgia happens. Well, that's great. Yes. However, we are a severely divided party. I'm sorry, folks, but we are. There's the extreme Democrats, or what do they call them? Socialist Democrats, or Justice Democrats. I don't know. They have a lot of names for themselves. And then you've got the center Democrats, the middle Democrats, and that's the whole enchilada. And they are constantly bickering and they constantly going after each other. The extreme left get a lot of press, get a lot of attention, and the center are sort of like who, what, where, and how. Proof of that is how many seats we lost in the House. We allowed the narrative to be controlled by the extreme left, and therefore we lost seats in Miami-Dade County we should have never lost. We lost seats across this country we never should have lost. Simple as that. There's a lot of slogans that have been going around: defund the police, abolish this, get rid of that. It sounds great in theory, but when you're talking to voters in Iowa and Ohio that we need them, folks. They don't know what that means. They look at someone like AOC or Omar or any of them and they think, whoa, I can't do that. So we've got a problem and we need to address it. Now, my thoughts and my process is the extreme Democrats are never going to be happy, no matter what we give them. We can give them the moon. I use this example all the time. And they still wouldn't be happy. They'd want Mars. We give them Mars. They'd want Pluto, which is sort of a planet, not a planet, I don't remember. But that being said, enough with that. We gotta stop. It's not a matter of catering to one side or the other. We need to listen to what the voters are trying to tell us. And the best way that voters try to tell us anything is by voting. So yes, we won back the White House. Yes, we potentially may win back the Senate. Barely. And we did keep the House. But those losses that we took, they hurt us. And the voters are trying to tell us they don't want that. It's okay to be that. It's okay to be extreme left. It's okay to say your opinion. This is what makes our country the great country that it is. However, being an activist and being a politician are not one and the same. Being an activist, go do your magazine covers, go play your video games for hours on end on Facebook Live or whatever it is you do. Go do your Instagram posts, saying your opinions. Basically what I do. But the difference is, I'm not being paid a congressional salary. I'm not being given health insurance from the United States government. I'm not getting all the perks of being a Congress member. I'm not being asked to legislate. I wish I was, but I'm not. So all I'm saying to the extreme is, how about we start having conversations about actually legislating, actually getting people involved, more than just slogans and ideas. Slogans and ideas pushes people away, not towards us. So I don't know. I think that's a massive, massive problem. Division is very real. And everyone should really pay attention to what happened with the Tea Party and the GOP back in the day. it completely divided them. They had full control and they didn't know what to do with it because the Tea Party was running amok. Time has come, folks, and we're here. Okay, so I want to make this very clear about while we have problems with how many House seats we've lost, I want to make it very clear. Nancy Pelosi kept the House after a failed impeachment. That is never been done in the history of our country, and I want to make that known. Her losing those seats at the end of the day do not fall on her, because I know for sure 150% she tried to tell all of her constituents, stay as far as you can from the extreme left, stay as far as, didn't work. So I want to make that clear, y'all. I want to make that very clear. Another problem that I see inside the Democratic Party right now is even if we win back the Senate, and that's also, like I said, a big if, we have the problem of Chuck Schumer. And no one ever talks about him. Everyone sort of lets him have a pass because he's just been the minority leader, and that really doesn't mean anything. But the proof is in the pudding. Now, there is no reason why we should be worried about Georgia right now. Let's be honest here. There were so many races in this last election where Republicans were so vulnerable in their Senate seats. Susan Collins, great example. And instead, Chuck Schumer made the decision to spend $200 million between Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham. Now, even though pollsters were coming and telling him, this is a waste of money, you're never going to win these seats, he didn't care. It was personal. Now, that's not someone that I want in my majority leader. I don't want that. I want someone who's savage. I want someone who looks at districts and looks at states and goes, we can win that, and this is how. Chuck Schumer doesn't do that. Chuck Schumer is not a leader. He's a follower. Right now, Chuck Schumer takes a lot of his orders from Nancy Pelosi. Let's just be really honest. And prior to that, he was taking them from Barack Obama. There is no real rhyme or reason. The only reason he got the job is because we knew we wouldn't have the majority back for years to come. Well, the time has come where there may be a possibility where he may be the guy who's going to make all the decisions. Do we really want Chuck Schumer to be the guy who makes the decisions for our party? We fought so hard to gain back the Senate. We've come so close. I mean, just the other day, Chuck Schumer did a sort of like press conference kind of thing where he said, Biden doesn't even need the Senate. He can just legislate day one executive power and get rid of all this student debt, which is a lie, and I need everyone to understand that.
We have come to the conclusion that the President Biden can undo this debt, can forgive $50,000 of debt the first day he becomes president. You don't need Congress. All you need is the flick of a pen.
That is not true. Anything to do with the budget of the United States of America, including taking debts away or anything, has to go through the legislators. Period. Has to. Ways and Means. They have to be involved. They are the budget. So, and also, Chuck Schumer didn't think to himself, maybe saying we don't need Congress to legislate this was not the best thing to say when we have 2 seats that we're trying hard to win. That's what I'm saying about Chuck Schumer, and no one says it. He's not good at his job. And the only reason he's there is because he was a fill-in until the next person came along. The fact that we're not having an open dialogue about what we're going to do moving forward when we just got slaughtered on election day in Senate races is beyond me. And if Chuck Schumer was a woman, holy moly, she would not still be there. Period, point blank. So that is a massive problem we have. That is a massive, massive problem. He does not know how to control his caucus. He does not know how to whip votes, which is the most important thing about being a majority leader. Sorry guys, that's a problem. In my opinion, I think it's really simple. I think we have to stop focusing on what we think people want to hear, what we feel, all of that nonsense, and go back to the basics. Go back to whipping your votes, controlling your caucus, having one message, doing what, I hate to say this guys, but what Republicans do. And they do it really, really well. They have one message. You never hear a Republican, hardly ever, going away from a message, especially in terms of legislation. Mitch McConnell holds them tight together, which is what Pelosi does too, except for the 5 that decide to go off and do their own thing and, go on, all these talk shows and have magazine covers. But besides that, she whips those votes. She gets what she needs. Chuck Schumer doesn't do that. We've got a problem. We've got a problem because Joe Biden is a very happy-go-lucky type of guy.
Do Democrats deserve your decision, Mr. Vice President?
Later when?
Tell you what, good to see you all.
And if there are not people there to direct the guy, we're going to be all over the place. And we could potentially be looking at 4 years of a lame duck president. That is just the reality. We're going to be a lame duck president if Mitch McConnell wins Georgia, period, point blank. There's no way around that. They're not going to bend. They're not going to bend at all. They're going to make Democrats pay for what they say we did to Donald Trump. This cycle is never going to end. But if we win Georgia, that is our time to say, okay, we got to stop playing in the minors. We got to go into the majors now. This is no joke. All right, Republicans have been making plans for years to take over the judicial branch of our government, and it worked. Donald Trump got 200 plus judges in 4 years alone. He got 3 Supreme Court justices that didn't help him in the long run, but he still got 3 there. So the court is packed conservative. They're better at the long game than we are. So we've got to ask ourselves, what are they doing that we're not doing? Besides the Tea Party, the Republicans have really tip-top shape and conducted themselves a lot better than we have. So we got to do better, guys. We've got to kick out those who don't really want to be there. Let's just be honest. If you don't want to be in the Democratic Party, if you think we're such a horrible party, take all that money that you've raised on your $60 sweatshirt and go out the door. It's easy. It's simple, right? Do it. Just do it. All I'm trying to say, guys, is we have this rare opportunity to just fix what's broken. Stop pretending, stop ignoring, stop blaming Nancy Pelosi and Dianne Feinstein for every problem that you have. Instead, how about you stop and think about, wait, Nancy Pelosi has become the Speaker of the House not once, but 2 times over. And the second time was rough, and yet she still made it. And she's about to be Speaker of the House for the 3rd time. Nancy Pelosi kept the House after a failed impeachment. How about we look at her and say, what is she doing right, and how can we replicate that? She ain't going to be around forever, and when she's gone, we may be in for a rude awakening at how much she really did. Same goes for Dianne Feinstein. Instead of trying to desperately push her out, if I felt that Dianne Feinstein, it was time for her to go, I would say it to y'all. I would. I keep it 100 always with you. This is not me being biased. I get it. She's been my senator most of my life. I love her. I adore her. I think she's fucking fantastic. But I don't think it's time for her to go yet. I think she's fine. She hasn't missed a single vote. She has 4 bills that have become law this year. So again, how about instead of trying to push her out, we stop and go, oh my God, how can I learn from her?
The door to the office opened and he came in. I heard the door slam. I heard the shots. I smelled the cordite. He whisked by. I walked down the line of supervisors' offices and found Harvey Milk. Put my finger in a bullet hole trying to get a pulse. It was the first person I'd ever seen shot to death. And that began a saga.
We need to learn from one another. We need to learn from those who came before us. Instead of just ignoring, oh, that's broken, that doesn't work. No, I still learn from someone like LBJ, who wasn't even alive in my lifetime. I've learned so much from reading about LBJ and how he's legislated, the most productive legislative president in the history of our country. We can all learn from those who came before us, instead of just wiping them out. I get it. We have a new generation coming in. I get it. Times are changing. I get all of that. But we gotta work together, folks, or else this is going to be one ginormous mistake. I don't know. Until next time, guys, the OG of the HRC signing out.